I come to you today, not as a medical student, but as a sensor of things. And I sense nice humans making ugly choices, a beautiful world getting uglier, and I want a way to counteract this ugliness, to make it right. So I imagine a beautifully impactful project, and I'm motivated. I'm a natural, I'm one with the tasks. My mind is alive with ideas and purpose. And in this state of flow, everything I do it deeply knowing it's right. Until something feels a bit off. Maybe something I sense in the project, or my body. But I don't want that though. Where's that feeling of being on the right track? And it feels good asking that question. It seems like it would solve this issue. And I search for an answer, looking through the thoughts, images, memories, for the comfort of knowing how to get that feeling back, that feeling of flow. But where's the flow now? I've completely lost it. And where did I go wrong? You see, I really wanted that feeling of confidence, that deep knowing, thinking I've found my purpose. And that sense of something being off obviously took away from my confidence. But that unease was unfamiliar and unknown to be understood. And instead of understanding that unknown and gaining new information, I found the uncertainty uncomfortable. And so, wanting again the safety of knowing, the easiest thing to do was to label it as an obstacle to my feeling, to categorize it. And then I made it known. But now it was an other, it was wrong, it must be fixed. And so I thought the next thing to do was, the right direction was to solve it, to fix it. But obviously, how can you solve a sensation? You can't. Now my mistake, I realize now, was feeling that purpose and thinking that I was in the right place in my life. It made me feel safe, made me feel good about myself. And I unknowingly made it my objective to maintain that feeling of comfort, that same comfort that I derived from feeling from that being in the right place, that rightness. I wanted that to continue. And trying to match what I thought it should look like, what I thought I should be feeling with what I actually felt, that unease, what carried new information, the unknown, obviously had to be wrong. And my purpose was obviously serious in doing this. It was about me feeling good about my own life. And so exploration, lighthearted exploration of new and interesting ideas obviously were off the table. I inhibited them. I didn't want to be doing lighthearted exploration. Only getting back to safety, only getting back to what was familiar. And I slumped as a result. I couldn't find what I was looking for. So I was thinking, isn't that the root of all my problems? Searching for what right should look like rather than what right is. Affirming what right should look like. Like I should be living this good life. I'm good. I'm strong. I'm in the right place. I've done my part. All these shoulds, all these images, affirming them and them bringing me comfort. And don't I always have this objective of affirming these images I have of myself, of what right should look like? And isn't my attention always with affirming these images? My mind always wandering, searching through the past for evidence. And if the mind is always stuck in the past, if I'm always trying to affirm these false realities in my head, where's my attention? It's not in the moment. It's not in trying to find how to best utilize the potential of my environment. Everything appears dull. The light shines dull. Things aren't interesting. I'm stuck in the images. And then, my attention always being stuck in this cycle, I never enter the full flow. I'm never fully with my tasks. There's always a bit of boredom involved. But it goes further than that. It goes much further than that. My body, full of yet unexplored sensations, potentially uncomfortable ones, potentially good ones, I've forgotten the way to move in a way that brings joy. pursuing the ideal of strength, pursuing that image of what right, that strength, I've shunned physical weakness, and so maybe I've forgotten the comfort of a soft hug. And always obsessed with constructing and strengthening this idea, this image that my life should be good, I'm afraid of the natural deconstruction of death. All of this because I was aiming for the sensation, that image, that feel good, what right now I should be feeling, what it should look like. But what if I had caught myself just before I deluded myself, looking away from the unknown, looking away from that unease, thinking it was my enemy because it got between me and my confidence, me and my feel good, me and my comfort? What if I'd allowed that discomfort, that unease to sweep over me, to stay, while my full attention worked on exploring its sensory intricacies, all the associations, and tracing these associations, maybe I could have found exactly the real world events that triggered it, that triggered this unease. And pinpointing that event, I could have potentially fixed a structural weakness in my project. And imagine that. Imagine after that dip, fixing that, getting back on the flow. Imagine how much that would have boosted my confidence. It would have for sure strengthened. But of course it's difficult. My whole life, I've been conditioned to turn away from uncertainty and instead look at my words, my thoughts for comfort. So while I have the relative safety of these labels of life is good, I am this, etc., why would I turn away from the relative safety to the silence of uncertainty, of sheer possibility? Why would I make that jump? And the reason I found is because it would feel right. Because right now there is unease. Because right now there is boredom. There's not that aliveness in my life. And so what would feel the most right, I will pursue. I will do what will feel the most right, what will feel the best. And what's right? Oh, I'm thinking about what's right. What feels the most right in every moment, I wouldn't be able to picture. I can't predict what it will look like. Maybe in one moment, what feels the most right is looking after a sick friend. But maybe in another moment, what feels the most right is chugging whipped cream. I can't predict. It has to be discovered in every moment. What's right? What's right, I'll have the least resistance to. So when everything's a mess and I have no idea what to do, I'll still know that what I'm doing is the right direction. And what's right, I cannot decide what it will look like. I can't think my way to it. I can't consciously think this is right. Like picking up litter on the floor automatically without thinking. It's just my natural self-expression. You let it happen. And so, that's what's right. And for us to do what we need to do in this world, to pursue these beautiful projects, to pursue our missions for beauty, we have to pursue what's right in every moment. Not aiming for confidence, because if you don't aim for confidence, then it will strengthen. Not aiming for safety, because when you don't aim for safety, when you're lighthearted, the ideas will appear to make us safer. And not aiming for purpose, because then every moment will be full with it. Instead, aiming to find what stops you from naturally doing what's right, because that will feel the best. Thank you.